Mikey Shulman, who's the CEO of Suno.
I think the majority of people don't enjoy the majority of the time they spend making music.
Wow, that's pretty disrespectful. Artists and musicians and producers are lazy, that it's just too hard. We need to have AI do it for us. I'm scrolling on through and I see Mikey Shulman, who's the CEO of AI music generator company Suno, right? We talk about Suno, we talk about Udio, and we've been covering the giant lawsuits against these companies. And I'm like, I don't know. There's usually a don't talk about your lawsuit kind of thing that lawyers tell their clients. And I was watching his interview and he talked about the lawsuit. And it was amazing to me what he had to say. So in any case, this is my music lawyer reaction to Mikey Shulman's perspective on the major record label lawsuit against his company.
Now, I'm just starting with blunt question. There is lawsuit from RIAA in June 2024, whatever stuff. Was there any basis to this lawsuit? The lawsuit is basically saying that you use their media to train your models.
I have to be very careful what I say and don't say about a lawsuit. So I think I'll tell you, yeah, we know that there are some copyrighted works in our training data. That's not illegal. It's stock standard for the industry. It's what every AI company does.
It's industry standard. It's what everyone's doing. Everyone's speeding. So if everyone's doing it, it's legal, right? So for those of you who are new to the conversation, very quick recap. The major record labels came together and they were alleging and sending demand letters to Suno and Udio and just saying, look, the music that your generative AI is spitting out is almost exact replicas of our songs. And so we don't know for a fact if you took our music to train your AI, but we think you did. They put it in their demand letters. They either got no response or the response was go shove it. And so they're like, okay. And so they filed these lawsuits. In the lawsuits, we went through them, essentially speculating. We don't actually know what we don't know yet, but we think there's been copyright infringement. And then Suno and Udio came back in their answers and just admitted it. They go, yeah, we have been using your music. And we believe that pursuant to the Copyright Act, it's fair use.
In some sense, the lawsuit wasn't totally shocking. You know, it's most AI companies get sued.
Of course it wasn't
Everybody
shocking.
in music gets
You got a demand letter saying, we're going to sue you.
sued. It's a highly litigious industry. I think it's a little bit depressing in some way because I think there is a much bigger and brighter future of music to build together with the existing industry instead of kind of fighting it out and having the potential for this thing to just be net smaller.
So let me be clear on this. The record labels are claiming that there's been copyright infringement because the basic rights of we own the music. And so if you're going to come and use our songs that we own, everyone else in the existing industry will come and get licenses from us. If you get a license, we make some money. That's how we utilize these things, these musical assets, right? That are songs. And so they go, well, big picture, you didn't get those licenses, so therefore you use our stuff without our permission, copyright infringement. And then the music AI companies coming back and saying, well, pursuant to the Copyright Act, there is this defense, which is fair use. And if it's fair use, we are okay to use your songs without permission. So what he's at least starting with is he's like, come on, guys, why can't we get along? I think the argument is, yeah, we can get along perfectly if you come on over here and just do a deal with us to actually license our songs.
I'll say something ill of lawyers for a minute, but we were talking about economists, and there's this famous econ paper from like the 80s looking at why do some countries grow and some countries don't grow, and by this guy Andre Schleifer. And one of the conclusions is basically like they're looking at the ratio of like how many engineers are in a country and how many lawyers are in a country. And the conclusion is like more engineers equals more growth, more lawyers equals less growth. And, you know, obviously that's like a little bit reductive. But I think that instead of fighting it out, if we were talking, which we were before this lawsuit happened, at least to some of the players in that lawsuit, if we were working together toward building a bigger future of music, everybody would just be happier. And the music business is one that has such an embedded fixed pie mentality. There's a fixed pie of money out there, and we are all just, you know, trying to divide it unfairly for ourselves. And if we were focused on growing that pie, I think like just everything gets easier.
What are you talking about? What do you mean there's only a fixed pie? There are songs that belong to certain people and companies, and if you, tech company, is Mikey like a musician? Is this someone who has a fair amount of context of like what it means to be a creator, an artist, a music producer? If someone knows, please drop a comment down below. But taking Suno for what it is a tech company. And so to be like, we can't all share in the profits and all of that. What are you talking about? Now, we're okay to do this on the legal front, no problem. But we're just going to go and take pre-existing creative things. This isn't a, hey, let's just share it. I mean, that's what an argument. I mean, as a copyright attorney, boy, I wonder how that would go if I went to a court of law and I say, Your Honor, we're working towards something greater. The record labels just don't want to share with us. I mean, is that the argument here?
You mentioned that it's very natural for AI companies, whether it's OpenAI or any of the others, to have lawsuits and be under the same pressures. When you think about how that naturally gets resolved between new AI players and traditional incumbents in any industry, so not specific to this lawsuit, how do you think that plays out? Is it just settlements with new AI companies bluntly using venture dollars to pay off large incumbents? Is it equity distributions to the larger incumbents to feel like they have a part of the companies? How does this play out?
I don't know. There's like the traditional Silicon Valley mentality of like, screw you, existing industry, I will disrupt you. There's nothing that you can do about it.
Do you mean what Suno's doing right now, which is the existing industry of the music business, of just how if you are ever going to use someone else's songs to create derivative works, that is what Suno allegedly has or had been doing for a time, where basically they came out and they go, yeah, our AI is trained on this music, but we have filters, and the filters are in place to make sure that the new songs that are created are not too close, right? Record labels put in their complaint. Well, what's happening is that basically AI is mimicking. And we know under copyright law that if person A listens to person B's song and then they actively try to mimic that song, the new thing that comes out is a derivative work. And they may be found liable for copyright infringement. So we go, well, how's that any different now that it is a AI tech company? And they go, well, pursuant to fair use, which is a real legal argument. Even if that's the case, we can't be held liable for copyright infringement because it's fair use.
I will sue you, until you go away. And like both of these are obviously wrong. People will ding us for building a tech company in Cambridge, Massachusetts, but like it's actually nice not to have that embedded Silicon Valley mentality of like, screw you, existing industry, I'm going to disrupt you and there's nothing you can do about it. Every single person at Suno has like an incredible deep love and respect for music, which culturally is amazing, but also just keeps people like out of that mentality and much more focused on building a bigger, brighter future, hopefully with the incumbents in the industry. And by the way, there are plenty of incumbents in the industry who do work with us.
Okay, how? Okay, and remember he's going to answer this right afterwards. But how? Okay, Mikey, taking that as true, what are you doing for artists? What are you doing for musicians? What are you doing for music producers? Because what I can say is I go, this tech is amazing, without question. Wow, you're making it so much easier to make music, but really just the point of entry to make music, very, very easy. You put in prompts and boom, you have a song. What I'm talking about is not for really non-musicians. Are you creating jobs? I'm curious. How is this making the music business for those who are already, quite frankly, struggling in what exists today? How are you making it better for them? We know for sure as a tech company, you're getting a lot more money. We know that you are getting paid.
Do you like the incumbents to have behaved who are suing you?
Talk to us first, probably.
And they don't?
Some did, some didn't. On paper, I would say it just seems silly to throw a bunch of venture dollars at lawyers instead of sitting down and talking about how you could work together. Like deciding to sue first and then ask questions later seems to me to be inefficient, but what do I know?
I'm curious as to why he says that, because I know that there were demand letters sent to Suno and Udio ahead of time. That's what we do as lawyers. We usually outline and we go, hey, there's a thing that's happened here. We're not okay with it. What do you want to do to resolve this? Because look, neither side wants to go through a lawsuit. It's extremely expensive. He's right. You're throwing a ton of money at lawyers, but here's the speech I give to our clients, which is we're going to do everything possible to resolve this informally because it's cheaper for you. I love getting paid. I'm a litigation attorney, but you know what? I care about you more. But if we have to go and sue them, if we have to go to court, there are times you stand up and you do just that.
As a founder, like when you get a lawsuit, how do you respond?
Of course, I would obviously rather not get sued, right? Like, I think I would be bullshitting you.
I know some genuinely, plumbly psychotic founders who are like, yeah, fuck you. Like, feed off the pain. This means I'm winning. Like, you notice me because you're suing me.
I mean, there's certainly an element of that, but those people, I think, are lying if they tell you, like, this is a good thing. It's like maybe it's a sign of a good thing, but it itself is not a good thing. If nothing else, it's going to cost money and time.
If they win, what happens? If
this lawsuit goes to trial and we lose, it's obviously not good for us. The company's not dead, but it's obviously not good for us. I don't think that's likely. I would just be thinking about A, the game theory of what all players want here, and B, what is the best future of music for everyone? Even if you could make Suno or Suno-like companies or AI companies go away, do you really want that?
I don't think they're trying to make anyone go away. And my concern about all of this is I'm not sitting here going to bat for universal music. Quite frankly, they're half of the problem. But what I'm saying is that I am very concerned about the bigger picture here of the music makers, including that in the terms of service for these companies, they just say, hey, just so you know, you're giving us a right to your music that you are uploading when you use our platform. So in the spirit of people who use these platforms to get inspired, they go, hey, I'm going to upload my instrumental because I want to get melody ideas for the vocals, or otherwise I'm just looking for some inspo for the production. It says you're giving these music AI companies the rights to your music, right, to appear on the platform, be like, hey, we're actually continuing to train our AI using your music. So what can happen is that your music could accidentally appear in the output, the final song for someone else on this platform. So that's the stuff to me that terrifies me for you guys using these platforms, including that if the claim, and they're just saying, they're like, yeah, we did it. The claim is AI music platforms are using popular songs to train. There is evidence in these lawsuits that allegedly those actual songs resulted in outputs later on. And so I go, for you music creators out there utilizing these platforms, does that mean that at some point one of you is going to give me a call because you go, hey, Universal is suing me for copyright infringement because I used an AI music platform to create my song or to help in creating a portion of my song?
What if the music industry can be as big as the gaming industry? There's going to be a lot of happy people.
When we think about the future of music then, how does that look? Because you have existing players today, your Spotify's most namely of the world. How does that look in your ideal world?
There's a few different ways. I'll tell you what I hope it is, which is that there are a lot more people participating and there are a lot more experiences on tap. And so what does that mean? That means we didn't just want to build, let's say, a company that makes the current crop of creators 10% faster or makes it 10% easier to make music. If you want to impact the way 1 billion people experience music, you have to build something for 1 billion people. And so that is first and foremost giving everybody the joys of creating music. And this is a huge departure from how it is now. It's not really enjoyable to make music now. People enjoy Suno. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of practice. You need to get really good at an instrument or really good at a piece of production software. I think the majority of people don't enjoy the majority of the time they spend making music.
Wow, that's pretty disrespectful. I mean, you're telling me that basically artists and musicians and producers are lazy, that it's just too hard to make songs anymore, so we need to have AI do it for us. Basically, we all just need a shortcut. I personally find that insulting, but it also just indicates to me that he's not a creative, because what I can say is that the very few moments that we all have to really get into a creative vibe and to make a song and come up with a video treatment for our music video, those are some of the best moments that keep us all going as creatives, because it's a thing that is just really hard to describe. Now, everything that comes after that with building a music business for yourself, right? Getting deals, getting licenses, promoting your music. 100% a pain in the butt. Everyone wants that to be easier. It is very difficult. My entire YouTube channel is dedicated to helping you guys with building yourselves and becoming like record labels. But speaking for myself as an artist, making the creative thing is the best part.
Do you not think that's like running? It is hard to run. It is painful to run. You don't particularly enjoy it, but you love running. And you get good at it, and you get better at it, and you speak to the runners, and they love running.
Most people drop out of that pursuit because it was hard. And so I think that the people that you know that run, this is a highly biased selection of the population that fell in love with it.
If you are a music maker of any kind, I'm curious, what do you think? Leave a comment down below. Is making music just too hard? Now, here's the thing. Where I can agree is just to be like, you know what? AI is amazing. It is truly the leveler of if you need lyric ideas, right? Even if you need melody ideas. Like, it truly is scary impressive. And I think it can be utilized as a tool. But to say that it's now essentially going to replace us as creators and our creative process because it's just too hard. You know my opinion, but what do you think? I saw one of you say, it's not AI, it's RI, reproductive intelligence. I thought that was pretty funny. If you missed the deep dive as far as the complaint against Suno, Udio, their answer, which is just amazing, because it's not like a normal answer, it's like a statement of, you don't own genres of music, we can go ahead and use your songs if we want to. Missing the point, didn't seem like it was written by music attorneys. Very interesting to get the perspective from the man himself. Let me know what you think. I'm top music attorney, Miss Crystal.